Hello everybody and welcome to number 27 from me, Jack, and from my big cheap Merc S Class. Now, in the last episode that we had, I took the Merc to actually that wasn't the last episode. In the last episode I tried to spray up the side of the car and sort of improve that rust that was there on that wheel arch, and I wasn't very happy with that job. However, since then I've done a bit more work to it, and I think you'll agree it's now looking miles better, so quite happy with that. The episode before, I took this to a main dealer Mercedes-Benz place to get them to tell me what they thought needed doing and how much it would cost. The bill came to about £5,400, and I was absolutely sure that I would be able to do it for much less money. So now I am on my way to Prestige Car Services in Horndean. Ollie there said he's quite confident that he can sort out a few of my issues for much less cash. Okay, so we're here at Prestige Car Service in Horndean, the Mercedes workshop, and I'm with Ollie, who is the founder and owner of the place. This is kind of his bread and butter. He's been working on Mercedes for 24 years.
24 years, yeah. Hello, welcome to my workshop, Jack.
Thank you, buddy.
So yeah, thanks for bringing the car down. I'm going to give the engine bay a look over for you and give you a few pointers about what I found. So I've been working on these cars a long time, and hopefully I can give you some idea about what goes wrong and how to fix it. A couple of things I picked up. Firstly, you've got a little leak on the rocker covers. Every 112, 113 engine, this is a 113 leak from the rocker covers. They're so common, we do them 2 or 3 times a week on the V8s and V6s. Also, the air suspension struts here, there's a little bit of crack in there. It's not too bad. I mean, it's perfectly livable. You can live with them. It's not the end of the world, but what you'll find is they might leak a little tiny bit after you put it up in the air. Okay. But they're fairly minor. Yeah. But luckily the tops can be replaced, and they're not too bad cost-wise. But otherwise, under the bonnet, she's pretty good, actually. Other than a couple of little oil leaks, she's pretty good.
Okay, so we're under the car, and I can tell you that Ollie is the harbinger of doom, because he has found much more stuff than I was expecting. It's not tragic, but it is more than I was expecting. So first of all, he had a quick check around all 4 wheels and tyres.
Front left wheel bearing needs some adjustment and tightening, re-greasing. There's some special Merc grease for it as well, some bright green stuff. It's very minor job, easy to do as well. Takes literally minutes. And then there was something going on this wheel,
wasn't
it? One, yeah, the very top suspension arm, camber arm, the inside bush is done. It's had it, and it's got a bit of play in it, and it's a bit of movement up and down. You have to really go for it to get the movement on it. I mean, really have to go for it, but it's definitely there. Obviously, with load on it, sat on the ground driving along, it will play a part in the way the car handles. And this car's supposed to handle lovely. It's supposed to be wafting and soft and brilliant.
It is wafting and soft.
Well, so, all S classes are, but it's supposed to be extra.
Okay.
Lovely.
So what else have you found?
Brake pipes, bit of corrosion on there, and the hoses, they're perished as well. Quite important to get done at some point. That's more of a highlight of the general issues. And there's a little bit of corrosion on the seals, nothing too major.
So are these?
Yeah. So with jacking points up here, there's some surface rust that's been there for quite a while, and it's obviously now needs some attention. There's a very small hole in both sides. It's easily patched up. It's not the end of the world. It really isn't. You can do it with your welding equipment at home. You can practice your welding skills. So
I can tell you all, I was absolutely heartbroken about that, because if there was one thing that I thought was brilliant about my £900 banger, was that there was very little rust. We have found a little bit. It's not terminal, but still it's a little bit. And then what else have you found?
On the front, there's some what we call thrust arms. So these are arms that go like this at the front, big bush one end, ball joint the other. These bushes are starting to get a bit tired. They shrink, they fall apart from the actual aluminium arm itself. It's not horrific. I mean, they'll probably last and be pretty good for a fair while. But they're well on the way needing changing.
And those ball joints, I think that you found a load of wear in them, and in the meantime, you've already magically replaced them. I'm going to show a few shots now, but basically those have already been done, haven't they? So that's brilliant.
So these are press-in ball joints, and we have a special press tool to do them. A very expensive tool from Clan, which is superb. So without the tool, they're very difficult, but with the tool, they're great. They're nice and easy to do. The joint is made by a company called Lemforder. There's no need to buy the genuine ones.
Yeah.
These are good and maybe better.
The prop shaft donut.
Prop shaft coupling,
Let's have
yes.
a quick. So I think we knew about that because Merck had picked up on that as well. But that basically needs doing, right? And you can see the thing why I hadn't seen it before is you basically pry it and that opens up the cracks,
Put
right?
a lever bar in there and pry it and give it some welly, and the cracks open up.
Okay.
Right, and I suppose a lot of people that are not familiar with the car will not know how to do that and will not even approach it.
Okay.
And even some regular mechanics will go, you won't know that either. But what happens is they start to wear, and all of a sudden you get a big clonking noise when you take up drive, and a vibration. The worst bit's a vibration.
Okay. So made a lot of progress today. The other thing that we haven't mentioned yet, which you already sorted out before, is you'll all be delighted to hear, I am, that the engine check light is gone.
Yes.
So I think I don't know. You found a way to sort that out, right?
Yeah, it has a secondary air injection system. Not every car has that system on it. It's for the California emission laws, that's why it's there.
Right.
Hence why it's got 4 cats, hence why it's got a secondary air injection. It's to help reduce the emissions. Some of these S classes never had it.
Yeah.
So I just told the car it didn't have it.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
It's not breaking any emissions laws, it will still pass the MOT, it's well underneath its emissions it will be.
All right, Ollie, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, and for doing those ball joints. So in terms of, this is a 900 quid car, and you found quite a few things I wasn't aware of, but I don't want to skimp. I want to do, what has to be done, especially in terms of safety. Out of everything we've gone through, what do you think I need to attend to?
The most important thing is the brake pipes. They are corroded and they do need attention. And the brake hoses too, because they're perished. But the brake pipes are important. I mean, they're not a humongous job to do. They take a bit of time to make them nice and neat.
So there's the brake pipes, and then I guess just weld up that rust, and maybe I can do like a patch myself.
Suspension arm as well. Don't forget the suspension arm.
Oh yeah, the suspension arm of that, right?
Yeah.
And okay, which again I can do myself, and they're quite cheap, you said?
Very cheap, yeah. Probably no more than 20, 30 quid for the arm.
Perfect.
From a good German manufacturer.
And now for the good bit, the costs. Are you ready for this? So, the original bill was for £5,348. Let's go through it and see how much I've managed to get everything done for. So, polishing the headlamps, they didn't even quote for, but I've done that myself. The wipers I haven't done, so take 40 quid off that total. The SRS warning lamp has been sorted out with a little module from eBay, which basically tells the seat that someone is sitting in it, so the airbags will always go off, which is fine by me. So that was £30 instead of the 680 quoted by Mercedes. The rear brake discs have been replaced by me. They are Mintex pads. They quoted 288. I got Mintex pads. They're not original equipment, but they will do the job. Mintex are pretty reputable, and that was £30. The excessive play in both ball joints, that was a biggie. Mercedes quoted 800 for it. When I turned up, it did turn out both did need doing. One was worse than the other. They quoted 800. Over at PCS, Ollie did that for £340. So that is, less than half price. So that is amazing. And they needed doing, because basically this is stuff that I want this to be MOT-able next time it goes to the MOT. That's why I'm doing these jobs, because it kind of drove well enough. Drives a little bit better now, but it's not transformed those ball joints done. But at least it won't fail the MOT next time round. The rear prop shaft coupling, again, Mercedes quoted 433. That is still to be done, but I'm going to just replace it. I've ordered it already. That's going to be £50. Mercedes quoted all tyres at 146 each, but they don't need doing. So I don't even know why. Well, I guess they quoted for that as a matter of course. Then the first engine fault, which was the oil pressure switch, and the second engine fault, which was the air injection pump. I think that Ollie talked about those, and basically by reprogramming the car, that has gone, because they're not actually needed for the car to run properly. So that would have cost altogether £1,380. Ollie did that for me for £50. And then lastly, the air suspension and stuff, to be fair, they said it was all fine, so that was a possible might need, might not need. That was £783, and it's not needed because it is working fine. And the grand total comes out at £500 pretty much on the dot, instead of 5,348. So, as I said, okay, the tyres aren't included in that, and there are now a couple of things that Ollie has added to my list. So I've got to do a little tiny bit of welding around those front jacking points, and also those brake pipes, they need to get cut and redone. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take it somewhere to do that. So there are a couple more expenses for this car. But on the whole, great car, really happy with it all, drives amazingly well, and what a gigantic saving. If you do things the smart way, you go to a good specialist, you really can save huge amounts of money. Now, Ollie's place, PCS, from what I've seen so far, incredibly thorough, really good guy, great place. I would thoroughly recommend you go there if you have any sort of Mercedes needs. He's a specialist on our 129s, I think they are as well. But all these sorts of Mercs, great place to go. He really knows his stuff. I'm going to put links to both. He has a YouTube channel on our 129s. I'm going to put a link in the description and a link to the website for his workshop. Thank you so much, Ollie. Really good to meet you, buddy, and thanks for helping me out. And lastly, please do subscribe if you haven't already. Got a few more things that I want to do to the Merc. And if you want to contact me, then Instagram is the best way. And thank you so much for watching, and really look forward to seeing you for the next one.